Shoulder seam placement is important because your shoulders frame your face. The original video, I got a lot of comments that the garment was too dark to see what I was doing, so I did choose a lighter color garment here today to show how I alter the shoulders. I've seen quite a few alteration videos where they separate the sleeve from the body fabric and then they reshape a new armhole and resew. This is definitely one way, but it's not an easy way. So instead of taking apart the garment and reshaping the armhole, I just add a pleat or a dart tuck or a traditional dart at the center of the shoulder seam. So there's no taking the garment apart, and if it doesn't look as good as you'd like, you can always take it out and you're back with your original garment. No harm done to the garment. This method is quite safe. Here is an example of the pleat or the dart tuck. The shirt is dark, but hopefully you can see the small dart tuck on the shoulder. This one is a traditional dart that I took down to the center bust. Again, yes, probably hard to see, but hopefully I can make it bright enough so it's visible. I thought I would try this one with 2 dart tucks on each shoulder, just to show that you can do a single dart tuck or you can do multiple smaller darts. Now this shirt really isn't that bad. The shoulders are not at a bad place for me, but I would like them to be slightly higher, and this shirt, I don't know if you can see, does have a good bit of gathering at the sleeve shape. The sleeve, I think, curve was a little too wide, so there is a little bit of gathering in there, which makes the sleeve have a little bit of volume. So I think it'll help to bring up the armhole a little bit closer up the shoulder, because then I do have all this fullness in the sleeve and I fill out the sleeve a little bit better if the shoulder seam will be shorter. So I think it'll make this shirt look a little bit better. So here is the shirt, and we have the shoulder seam right here, and it goes from there to there, and we're gonna mark our 2 locations here and here where we're gonna have 2 little dart tucks. So first we go to the inside of the garment, and from the shoulder seam I'm going to mark 1.5 inches in. From here, 1.5 inches in, be right there, that'll be the first dart tuck, and then another 1.5 inches in will be the second dart tuck, the center of each one. Before I move on, I also want to mark the bottom on the back. So this is our yoke that we have. See, this is the back of the garment, and it has this double thickness yoke on the back. So here's our 2 positions of our 2 dart tucks. I'm going to bring them down just to the bottom of the back yoke on the upper back, just down to here, because we want to kind of surpass that double fabric. I don't want the dart tuck stopping in the middle of this really thick fabric, so we're going to go all the way down, which for this one it's about 3 inches down, and for the one closer to the neck it's about 3.5 inches down. So I'm just going to mark that, and I want them to follow the same line as the armhole seam. So we want it to follow, so I'm going to measure 1.5 inches from the armhole seam and 1.5 more inches over. 1.5 inches over and 1.5 inches more over. And then on the front, I'm going to do the same thing, starting from 0 at the front of the armhole seam over here. And measuring, actually you have to measure down about 3 inches and over 1.5 inches. Yeah, that looks good. 3 inches down, about 3.5. We'll make sure we're over 3 inches from the armhole seam, about 3.5, slightly higher. That looks good. Okay, I'm taking in 1 inch total on each shoulder, and each dart is 1/2 inch. So then folded, it's going to be 1/4 inch thick. 1/4 inch thick when I'm sewing it. I'm not really going to measure it too much, because when you do it on the sewing machine has a setting that's like 1/4 inch, so you can kind of see what 1/4 inch is. So I'm just going to roughly pin these. So now I have where my 2 dart tucks are going to be located. Here on the inside, here's the collar. You can see on the outside here how it looks. They're just kind of roughly pinned right now. It just makes the shoulder a good bit smaller. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this right now, and probably also steam it, and then we'll see how that looks. And I usually start from the center right on the shoulder and then go down the back and then go down the front, just because the most important point is right on the shoulder, and there's that seam. So you want to make sure that seam is lined up when it's sandwiched, so there's basically, so the shoulder's really clean. is the first side just sewn down. Here's the inside. See, it's just kind of messy darts. The outside looks like that. So you can kind of see it's coming along. You can see the darts. The back side looks like this. I'm going to steam this side and I'm going to sew the other side and then we're going to try it on. Here is the finished shirt with the dart pleats in the shoulders. You can see this is the front and then this is the back. Let me know if you try this out and let me know how it goes down in the comments below. Give this video a like and don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell icon to be notified when new videos are released. And I will see you in the next one.